Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, over the weekend, I was finally able to go out to my storage and sift through boxes and look at some stuff, see what I actually have there. And it was pretty fun, pretty cool. There's a lot of figures that I have boxed that I don't really remember what I have, and also that I want to actually bring here to the office to display and stuff. So it was a pretty good trip. Now, going out there, I did happen to come across a Red Hulk Black Spider Man in box. I saw a zombie Spider Man in box. I saw that cartoon Spectacular Spider-Man. I saw a box with like the whole set inside there. And then I was also able to see some of the Marvel Legends that I don't really see because I don't really collect Marvel Legends. I was really big into it when it was Toy Biz, the early days. But after that, once Hasbro got into it, they kind of lost me, and that's when I was really into like DC Universe Classics. So I kind of like focused myself on DC, and I just fell in love with it. And I've been collecting DC mostly for now the better part of a couple years. But before that, I was also really big into McFarlane. Always liked McFarlane stuff, although not very articulated. It is some beautiful, beautiful figures, a lot of cool shelf candy that you like to display, and it looks really beautiful. So I was able to sift through some of those boxes. Uh, in the Marvel Legends box, I did come across a bunch of Spider-Man that I had. What else did I see? I saw a Scorpion in there. Random stuff, some Hulk, Wolverine. I also saw Sandman in there. These are figures that I just really don't care for anymore. So if I don't end up selling those, they're never gonna be out of those boxes anymore. So one day I'm gonna have to make a deal with somebody or something and get rid of those figures. There's a lot of them actually. I also have the whole series of the Iron Man, like the first Iron Man, the Mark series, where there's like different, like the first Iron Patriot, and it was like that first Hasbro line that came out of Iron Man. I have a bunch of those in box. Tons of stuff. I have the Ares wave that of course has Crossbones and what was it, the Vindicator. Who else was in there? I think they had a Scarlet Spider-Man in there, but I have that whole wave in a box. I just don't know if it'll ever, see the light of day because they're just there in storage. Tons of stuff in there, some old wrestling stuff, posters from when I was wrestling, a bunch of old photos and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to go back and check a lot of that stuff out. I did bring a ton of stuff with me. I was able to pull out some McFarlane stuff that I'm going to start putting here in the office. So that was pretty fun. Some stuff I did come across was like my old school custom chapel. Now, of course, this was like from the first line that McFarlane did. And the difference between this one and the original is that the original has like a split in his skull face. But if you look at the old card backs of the McFarlane, they actually show Chapel with like the whole skull like painted on his head. And I always wanted one like that. So since I already have like an original version where he does have the split, I think it's the green version, I brought out this, I made up this custom Chapel, added some silver, a lot of silver, so pretty cool figure. I also added glow in the dark paint to this guy, so his skull like glows. So that's a pretty cool figure that I hadn't seen in a long time. But he's gonna be staying here in the office with me. I also came across like this cool old McFarlane hamburger head. I think this was like the Arsenal, like the Total Arsenal or something like that figure, which is another one I like. I just like all the detail, and he actually came with a lot of guns. I brought a couple of boxes, so I'm gonna have to dig through them and see all if all the weapons and stuff are in there. But I eventually want to pick up. There's a mass version of this guy, and I want to pick that one up because it has like a scarf in the front. It looks pretty awesome. So that's another one I really like. And then I came across this movie Spawn. Now, if you know anything about the movie Spawns, they never actually had a cape. I think one had like wings, but this is my custom movie Spawn, and I gave him a cape and like some necroplasm. These are all old, couple years they've been in that storage, so pretty cool. I hadn't seen them in a while. I really like them. Pretty cool cape that I added for him. And I also came across the Wildcats, which is actually a box that has like Youngbloods, Wildcats, and this was more, I think Toy Biz made these, but also McFarlane made some, like that Chapel figure. But of course you have like Grifter, who's a pretty cool character from that line. And also I think this guy's called Witchblade. And there's a variant of this guy that I want to pick up. So when I do my hauls now, I'm going to be able to see which ones I actually have. That way I could add more from that line that I actually like. Like, there's tons of figures that these guys actually put out. So I'll just be, when I do my hauls, if I pick one up, I'll add and show it. He'll be added to the Youngblood and the Wildcats collection. Another guy I came across was this pretty cool, what is it, Creech figure. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. But this is an awesome McFarlane figure. I know there's a bigger one that's more like a statue. Like it's probably like this big. I've never actually had one. So it was pretty cool to see this guy, and he still has his guns, his blasters on his wrist, these cool tentacles. Awesome figure. I also brought some other McFarlane stuff that it's here behind me. So I'm gonna have to start making some room, moving some stuff around to get all this stuff displayed. But once I do all that, I might do like a little office tour and show like the whole room, everything I have stashed in here. And another thing I came across when I was looking through that Spider-Man box is I knew I had this, but I wasn't sure if I had the dark version or the light blue version. And this is the coveted McFarlane Spider-Man, and he is in pristine condition. I mean, he's never been played with. He doesn't have any paint rub off on his emblem. You could see the McFarlane head on there, and that's what separates him from people. Try and sell other Spider-Mans that are like this, but you could tell by the head if it's really a McFarlane one or not. And come to find out, this is actually worth a pretty penny, online. But for me, I like it because it's McFarlane. That's why I bought it. This was that wall crawler Spider-Man, and I actually still have the wall with like the accessories that came with it. That's how I know that which one this one is. But I have tons of Spider-Mans in there. Like I said before, I'm gonna have to get rid of them one day. But actually, this figure is like superposable. Awesome job they used to do on these. Awesome figure. But the reason I kept him around all this time is because it was a McFarlane one. But when I found him and I got to thinking, what figures are worth the most that I like treasure in my collection. Now, these are mostly in storage, and I have like a little like glass covered shelf. And let's see, one of the ones I have is like the Metron, whatever, with the Morbius chair, and he's still in box. I've been trying to get another one so I could have a loose one. I mean, I need the chair. I want the chair out of box, but until I find one and or I come across one, then I'll just have that one in box. That one's, you know, pretty expensive. I have the Swamp Thing, the San Diego Comic Con Swamp Thing. That's an awesome figure. I have only took him out of the box once, so he's still in there. I have the Lobo, the San Diego Lobo with the bulldog and the 3D glasses. That's another expensive one. And also the final figure released from DC Universe Classics Mattel, which was the Doomsday, where he has like Superman's cape on his claws. I've never really taken that one out of the box either. But I was looking at all these and you know, pretty cool stuff I have in storage. I don't know if I'll ever have enough room in here to display those boxed ones, but I might end up finding some room where I could put all those boxed ones, which will be pretty cool. But by far, one of my most beloved figures that I actually have is my in-box Cheetah naked variant. Now, the story behind this is that, of course, there was originally two versions of Cheetah. The classic one, which is actually on the back of the box. This was from Wave 13. And the story behind this is that they had the classic one already made and boxed. Then they had this unclothed version, the modern version, actually, as you would say. And they started shipping them, but they only shipped them to like comic stores and I think an online retailer, which I guess was Amazon or something, but very little numbers got to that point. And right when all this was happening, they went through Mattel and Mattel actually said, hey, hold on, we don't want to put that figure because she kind of looks nude. So they had to do a running change, which is possible because in DC Classics they actually have a couple of figures that went through a running change, that like the colors changed, or it was just like a variant version but without being a variant. It was more like a paint change. So what they ended up doing was painting pants and a top on her, which was another version in the modern era that came out of Cheetah. And there's minimal of these that actually went out, but there was some. But a lot of them were open because people didn't know that they were going to be, you know, rare. And there is boxed ones, but it's harder to come across a boxed one than an open one. And I originally bought this, I think, for like $120. I think I bought this for. And now it's, you know, way up there. Maybe like $300-400 you might get her. But I really cherish this figure. I keep her by her, you know, on her own. I don't keep her with any other stuff. But pretty rare to see this figure. Pretty rare to see someone have her actually in box. But she is one of the favorite parts of my DC Universe Classics collection. And she is one of the more valuable pieces that I actually own now. There is also some major valuable stuff. Like you're talking about the unreleased Red Tornado, which was another, you know, one that they decided not to release. But there is very small that were actually made. And then you're looking at maybe the light blue Superman, which there's actually not boxed ones because this was actually going to be a light blue Superman in a 2-pack with a Bizarro. So when you do come across these Superman, they're usually unboxed, loose, but they're still really rare, and they charge a high price. So, you know, but that's pretty much it. I was really happy to get to the storage and move some stuff out, see a lot of things that I hadn't seen in a while. I got stuff I'm gonna make videos on. I have the variant McFarlane designed Batman. I'm gonna do that one. I also do have the Batman Beyond from Target, so I gotta do that video. So a couple of stuff, and one more thing. I did finally receive my Kickstarter 3-pack spawn. So in here I do have the classic version, the modern version, and the artist proof. Really happy this came in. I didn't get any word. It was just in the door at the doorstep one day. So I don't have to worry anymore about if it's coming. It's here. I'm gonna crack this open probably this weekend. And I do have some plans of stuff that I'm gonna do with the modern spawn, which is the one I'm gonna be opening up. But pretty cool that I finally got this in. Really happy. Gonna have a good time opening this up. But for right now, that's it. You guys stay safe out there. Keep hunting, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.